This is the inside of the 2021 Benimar Benivan 120. If I firstly go to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on by pressing just here. You'll see that we have the time just here. It's letting us know that we're using the leisure battery to run the back end of the van, and it's also displaying the voltage, and it's also letting us know that we're currently charging as we're hooked up to main supply. This next one here is the main isolator for the top lighting. This can all be turned on and off on their own switches. Water pump on and off just here. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. We then have awning light on and off just here, and then this one here allows us to go through the menu. So if we go back to the beginning, this is a Sargent EC362 control panel. Next, it's giving us the voltage of the leisure battery and letting us know it's under charge, and then gives us the voltage of the vehicle battery, and again letting us know it's under charge. We have water levels, so how much water is in the fresh tank and how much water is in the waste tank. Select the battery, so we can actually switch over to the vehicle battery and run the back end of the motorhome off this. This should only really be done in an absolute dire emergency. And then we have time set, so we have hour and then minute. Just use the arrow button down here to change, and then we go back to the beginning again. Beside this control panel, we then have the panel for the whale heating and hot water. So if we start with this one first, this one is for the heating. So you'll see we have plus and minus just here, and as you can see, as I press it, it will go up and down. So to turn the heating on, we can either run it on gas or mains electricity if we're connected. And if we want to run it on gas, just literally press the little picture of the flame and it will then auto ignite itself. Just pick your temperature on the plus and the minus just here. Whale recommend having it on the little picture of the moon there for a night mode. If you need the heating on whilst you're sleeping, it will maintain a temperature of about 16 degrees. If we're hooked up to main supply, we can run on mains on this one here at 3 different power settings. Just hold your button on it, and then as you'll see, you'll get a series of blue lights appear. So if we start with the first one just there, that's its lowest amp setting. Then we have a medium and a high. So this is all just dependent on the ampage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. And then back off again. If for any reason there's a problem, it will flash up, and to reset the control panel, just press here. Main reasons that you will get an error are if you're trying to run it on gas and you have no gas, or if you're trying to run it on mains and you haven't got mains connected. If we now move across to hot water, same again, we have gas just here and electric just here, and again just literally just plus and minus. So we have full water temperature, which will give us a temperature of about 60 degrees. We have eco, which is about 40, and then we literally just have frost protection, so it'll just put a small amount of heat in to avoid any frost damage occurring to the boiler in colder winter months if you're not actually wanting to fully heat the hot water up. And again, we then have electric on this side just here, and again just hold it to pick the power setting. Whenever any unit is consuming gas, this flame will change from blue and go to a more orangey colour. just like it has now. And then if I just turn it back off again, we have some 12-volt fuses just down here. They are mainly for parts that are on the outside of the motorhome, like marker lights, etc. So if anything's not working like that, just check to see if you've blown a 12-volt fuse just here. We have the larger tabletop just there. And then storage. Main socket here and a main socket up there, with also a 12-volt socket and an aerial fly lead point for a television. Washroom just here. So we have the shower just there and the shower curtain. The toilet itself does swivel. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across and then make sure the water pump is on, and then blue button to flush, and then close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left this open. Level indicator for the cassette just here, so this will illuminate to let you know when it needs emptying. Just push here to drop down the basin. And then just push away nice and slowly to drain off. And then we have the vanity cabinet just here. Two gas rings just here to light, just push in, twist and press the igniter. And then beneath this we have the oven and the grill. In the off position where it is at the moment, to light the grill, push in and go down and then press the igniter. It will sometimes take a little while when the gas tank has been depleted and refilled, as there may be a bit of air in the system, so it just needs to be bled out. To light the oven, just go to the left and then press the igniter. With this, the flame runs underneath. You can just about see it just there. And then back to off again just here. Directly beneath it we have storage, but this is also just where the water pump sits. And then underneath just here is the boiler. To drain the boiler down for winterization, it's all just done on the yellow lever just here. Before draining the boiler, firstly make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then come to the lever and then just twist it like so, and then all the water will begin to drain out of the boiler underneath the motorhome. If you're fully winterizing, I always suggest that you then also open up all the taps, because this will release any airlocks in the system and make it drain down more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler, make sure the taps are reclosed. Close the drain tap just here, fill up the fresh water tank, turn on the control panel, and then turn on the water pump, and it will then begin repriming the boiler. After a few minutes, begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Tucked right at the very back here are some of the gas isolation taps for the van. So at the top there you can see the cooker and the hob. Then at the bottom there we have the fridge, the hot water and the heating, all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you do smell gas in the van, go underneath and isolate the gas tank itself. Fridge just here. To turn the fridge on, just press here, and then we have a little picture of a 2-pin plug, which is mains electricity. If we have no mains supply, we can run it on gas. The fridge will auto ignite itself. And then lastly, we have 12 volt maintain. At the moment we're going to get an error code because the engine's currently not running. This is the mode you have it on to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. Temperature control just here. And this error symbol here also works as a reset button. So if it's failed to light on gas and you think it may just be down to a bit of air in the system, you can repress this and it will then retry to light itself. Removable freezer box at the top there. Wardrobe. In the wardrobe we have a fire extinguisher. We also have the smaller tabletop and the leg for the tables as well. They can be either used at the back just here or at the front just here. In the overhead locker just here we have the solar panel controller. If the rocker switch is in the middle, the solar panel is not charging any of the batteries. If we flick it up, it will begin to charge the vehicle battery, and if we flick it down, it will charge the leisure battery. It does not, you do not necessarily need to turn this off because it will never overcharge either of the batteries. It will regulate itself. Digital amplifier for the television aerial, just in this overhead locker, on and off just here, and then control the boost just here. There are more TV point just there with 12 volt and main supply. If I now just come to this bench seat and remove the cushions, if I now lift up, we have the consumer unit just here. So we have the main trip switches just here. So we've got the 3 individual MCBs, then the main RCD and the test button just here. So if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point here. And then beside this we have the 12 volt fuses, and again they're labelled up, so if anything's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if a fuse has blown. Along the top here we have 2 isolator buttons for components that use main supply. So we have the green one here which is for the battery charger. Can be turned off just like so, but we want this turned on because we want to be able to charge the batteries when the van is hooked up to mains electricity. And then the amber one just here is for the heating and hot water, and again, if we turn this off, we will not be able to then heat or produce hot water on main supply. So really, again, these are more for maintenance, so can really be left on. This black button here is full system shutdown, so if you're not using the van for a long period of time, you can press this button and it will then kill any residual draw on the leisure battery. The leisure battery just sits here. And then underneath the opposite bench seat we have storage. To make up the bed, you will need to firstly get the two bars just here and slot them into place, just like so. And then if we then extend the sections, and then drop them into place, and then just pop the cushions in, just like so. We then have a good size double bed. Both seats swivel round, and they swivel just on the side levers just here. They are also height adjustable just on the levers just here.